Houston is humbling. Crime is real high, y'all. I was rolling in my car until I couldn't roll in it no more. So I know Bumble's like a dating app. I get it. Make it make sense. Like, y'all, life freaking happens. You know what I'm saying? Every single person who moves to Houston, And what's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatyana Edgeworth, and we're back with another freaking video. Now, before we go ahead and get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to your girl's channel. I love seeing more of you guys, of course. Everything we talked about, all of my social media, all of that good stuff will be linked down below, all of my handles. And honestly, we're just gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Hi, everyone. Oh my God, I'm super excited to finally sit down and talk to you guys. I feel like it's been like such a long time. Honestly, I've been sick down, like in the ER, everything. Just think about it. I've been down for like 3 weeks, but we're back. Oh, my content. I'm super sorry for not posting and being consistent for about 2 weeks, but your girl had to heal first. But yeah, obviously this video is about moving to Houston, everything you need to know about being in Houston, and just kind of like a little bit of my experience. But if you want to know more about my experience, I can make a separate video about that. But I did want to basically let you guys know everything you need to know about moving to Houston was kind of different. Clearly I'm from California, if you guys don't know, and being from California and moving all the way to Texas, like the rules are different, things are just a little different. So I'm just gonna let you know I've been here for almost, well, literally 3 years now, which is freaking insane. And I just want to let you guys know kind of like some of the things that I've learned, some of the new policies, things that are just a little different, and things honestly you should probably know before moving here, and just kind of like lesson learns and stuff like that as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do the first one, which is you guys need to understand that everywhere here is like pretty much being gentrified or regentrified. I don't know the exact term for it, but basically be careful when you're moving here, because you may be looking at a very nice apartment when you're like online or whatever the situation may be, but then when you come in person you realize it's kind of in, you know, the hood. Let's just be honest, it's in the hood. It's in the hood, child. You really need to make sure that you understand that when it comes to certain places that you may be looking at a very, very nice place, you may be looking at a very nice apartment, a very nice house, and then you look at the neighborhood and you realize, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't be here. So I know when I first got here that I actually visited, I think maybe twice before moving, looking at the areas. And that's why honestly I made the decision myself to move out here completely homeless. We'll get into that, because I wanted to know exactly where my apartment was, because I know like online it may look super fancy, but like even when you look at the tours that I actually took in the past, like the apartment tours, like some of it was like, honestly it looked nice online, but when I was in person I was like, you could tell that there was roaches there. You could tell like it was just not a good area, a safe area to be in. So just understand that. Well, you would be like in a downtown area. Downtown's obviously really beautiful, like they have like the Heights and Uptown and the Galleria area, like all of that beautiful stuff. But then you also have like 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, which is being regentrified right now. So it's close to everything and everywhere you want to be, have a good time, but just know like it's still like in the works. So if you're okay with that, then, you know, by all means, then that's fine. But if you're someone who's like, you know, moving out here by themselves or don't really have family or support or anything like that, I would be really careful about where you're moving, because again, it may look fine online, but when you come in person, babe, you in the hood. So just keep that in mind when you're out here. So that being said, I would advise you guys to come and visit first. Like that's like a big thing. You need to visit first, because honestly, you will be so happy just knowing exactly what areas you want to be in. Everything, Houston is so freaking big. Like literally you will drive an hour and you will still be in Houston, Texas. So that being said, I will honestly fly out here before thinking about moving to Houston, because everything is so freaking big and you don't know. So like if it was me, what I did was look at different apartments that I wanted to see, different areas, and went to go visit them in person so I could see exactly where I'm going to be at. And you can kind of tell like anywhere that's like super busy, the crime is high. And that's another thing you need to know as well. The crime is high. Crime is real high, y'all. So be careful when you're out here, and honestly just visit. I can't like say that enough. I know some people like to just come out here on the whim and just like move out here and not know anything, but Houston is so freaking huge. Like just come and visit. Like there's so many different areas. If you're a suburban girly, you be in the suburbs. If you're a city girl, be in a city. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you're a family person, be where the family, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta kind of know, you gotta feel it. You gotta kind of see what area works for you, because there's so many different areas, which honestly we're gonna get into that as well. But my advice would be literally come out here because again, something could look really nice and you're in a really gentrified area. So literally when I came out here and I was like, I'm moved out here homeless personally, because I knew that the apartment that I did see when I came out here was super, like it went crazy up on prices. So I was like, you know what, I'd rather move here on some homeless stuff like Airbnb hop or whatever situation may be. I know that's crazy, I'm not telling y'all to do that, but I honestly should have just had options. Now I think about it now, just being older. So definitely have your options of apartments that you would want to move in. Do not just have one, because honestly, if the prices change on you, you're gonna be stuck like I was. And I moved out here homeless, but I decided to Airbnb hop because all of the apartments I wanted to look at, I wanted to see them in person and know if the crime was high. I wanted to know all of the details and everything like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and talk about the next one, which is obviously the crime is high. The crime is really freaking high out here, guys. Like, it's literally insane. Obviously being like a bigger city, and I didn't really know that until moving here. So obviously like crime is high. So especially if you're moving out here by yourself, you're not moving out here with anybody, I highly recommend for you to get like blink cameras, ring cameras, like any type of cameras. And if you're a girl and you're by yourself, please don't go cheap. Like, just don't go cheap. I wouldn't recommend it. Like, I know TikTok shop, we on a budget, all this extra stuff, but honestly, like, just get a really good camera system, because you don't want to be in a situation to where something happens. Like, literally all the time I see cars getting broken into. Car accidents are high out here. Traffic is freaking insane. So like, just protect yourself. Also, another thing too, if you have any type of fancy wheels, I mean, I know like my car, I drive a Mazda, and I know Toyotas as well, literally get their tires stolen all the freaking time because how fancy and like sporty they're looking. I don't know like what's the extra reasoning, but honestly, just be careful and just put wheel locks. I had no idea, because remind you, I come out here with my Nissan Altima 2009 baby with 213k miles. I was rolling in my car until I couldn't roll in it no more. That being said, I was like, oh my gosh, like when I got my new car, my friend was like, hun, you need to get freaking wheel locks on there now. I didn't even know what wheel locks. So shout out to, you know, a friend that she knows who she is. Shout out to my friend who told me about that, because she literally has 2 freaking wheel locks on there. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I had no idea. So I did go get the wheel locks on there, so I don't have to worry about my tires being stolen. It's like a lot more work, because literally even at my place that's been safe for a very long time, I do live in the suburbs myself, that there be people's cars being like tires being stolen. They steal your tires, they break into your car. So do not leave anything valuable in a car. I know sometimes we could be very forgetful or just kind of like naive, like, oh, okay, I live in a good neighborhood, Day will come eventually. So just be rather safe than sorry. Put the locks on your car, especially if you have sporty, fancy cars. Like, I think sometimes maybe they don't do the luxury ones, but honestly, like, I would just be safe and just put car locks on your car. Like, that's just a thing. And then honestly, don't forget to get your ring lights and all that good stuff, especially if you're, you know, being by yourself. It's just a protection. You just never freaking know. And I want to say, go ahead and get that, you know what, I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? Get that. Something that I'm going to be working on myself, obviously, like, it's easier to get in Texas anyways, and just in case you have to protect yourself and you are alone. But we're just going to go ahead and talk about the next thing. So the next tip I have for basically moving to Houston, Texas, please make sure that you're actually looking for work before you get here, because you're gonna be AOL. You know what I'm saying? AOL. You do not want to come out here without your job lined up and then you're literally just going off of your savings. Like, you can look for jobs ahead of time. And I was working honestly in person. Start applying for jobs early, like literally 2-3 months before me moving. Like, once I actually had my move date set in, I was already looking for jobs. All I did was go on my resume and switched it from California and the city that I was in to Houston, Texas. And I applied super aggressively because my goal was for me to have a job before moving. They would interview you. Now, granted, some people would tell me like, oh, okay, we only do in-person interviews, blah, blah, blah. But because, you know, the pandemic and all that extra stuff that happened, a lot of people are still doing Zoom meetings. And if they understand like, hey, I'm someone who's not currently located out there, but I do have a location date of this time, you know, is your hire date by this time? And it just kind of depends on the company as well, like when is their targeted hire date compared to like when they're actually interviewing you. But if it was me personally, which it was, I literally started interviewing super early, and then by the time I got here, I want to say I was without a job for like maybe 2-3 weeks, but it was the people I was still communicating with when I was still back at home in California. Highly recommend for you, just make sure that you do your research and get your job first, because the last thing you want to do is be out here. The economy is hard, baby. It's 2024. We're pushing on 2025. Like, the economy is not easy easy. Things are not easy. So you just really want to prepare yourself as much as possible and make sure that you have a job set up before you get here. Now, if you work from home, that's completely different, right? Like working from home, you have the luxury of just like, okay, cool, I'm already set up. But if not, then hey, you got to do what you got to do. Make sure you have your job set up, or like at least it's in the works. You know that it's coming real soon. Do not be risky. That being said, if you are someone who just wants to transfer their job, transfer. If you have that opportunity, I'd rather you transfer your job and then like, okay, cool, like over time, I'm going to figure it out and then I'm going to get a new job, blah, blah, blah. Like I'd rather do that. Like literally, like I had somebody do that as well. Like, okay, cool. Let me get my job transferred over. And then whenever I want to get back on my feet and look for another position, I can do that. And if it's anything kind of like the same similar situation of like, you know, mines, you can actually get your job transfer. And a lot of times, especially like in California to Texas, at least from what we know, a lot of times they'll give you the same rate, and you know California pays more than Texas, so they'll give you your same rate that you're getting paid to the new job. Now that's not every job, but just kind of like check with your job and kind of see like, could I keep my same rate or do I have to get a lower cut? But even if you have to do that, I'd rather you do that than come out here and think you about to be balling and, you know what I'm saying, and not have a job, and that's just not what's going to happen. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and talk about is, baby, you need to budget. Like literally budget your money. I don't know what people be thinking, like people just be moving off the wind, and you know what, I'm risky too, okay? I'm risky too. I be doing crazy stuff all the time, but y'all, like, do not move without a savings. Make it make sense. Like, y'all, why are y'all moving without a savings? Like, y'all are just out here living. Did y'all hear about that person who just moved out there on a whim because they wanted to be an influencer or whatever situation may be? And I'm not even trying to talk smack, but it's like, babe, you need a savings. So before you think you about to go anywhere, I don't care if you're moving from Dallas to Houston or if you're moving from Alaska to Houston, like, you need to come here with a savings. Do not come here with no savings, because y'all, when I tell you, Houston is humbling, okay? And it's not even just Houston in itself. It's honestly just like life in general. Like life humbles the hell out of you. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It really humbles you. So you want to get your stuff together. The best you can do for yourself is honestly save a few $1,000s. And when I say a few $1,000s, like, let me just give you a price. For someone who is single, I would at least save $5,000. Yes, I'm gonna say it, because I think that's enough for you to at least get your first month's of rent taken care of, maybe even your second, your car note, all of your expenses, and all of your application fees, your bills, blah, blah, blah. So I think having like a good $5,000 plus your furniture, all of that extra stuff you're gonna want to get, I think that's a good security. If you're coming with any less than 3, you're in trouble. So don't come in here just because, like, you may, even if you have a job and everything, life freaking happens. You know what I'm saying? Best bet, I would say, literally come here between $3,000 to $5,000. If you could do more, obviously, and that's again, that's a single person. I'm not talking about somebody with a fast lifestyle. I'm talking about someone normal, just getting paid, you know, decent amount of money. But if you're making even less, I probably want to save even more. If you're making like a lot of money, obviously, like maybe it just doesn't matter as much, but I still will still come with a savings. I do not recommend for y'all to come here without any savings. Like, do not do that unless you have a backup plan. You got family here, like everything kind of matters. But if you're a single person, come out here by yourself, come out here with some money, because you're gonna, and also too, on top of the money stuff, Houston is a fast lifestyle. So what I mean by fast, it's not as fast as California personally, and it's not gonna be as fast as like New York, but it's still like a fast city, as in it's a lot of partying, it's a lot of nightlife, it's a lot of networking. You're gonna be spending money if you're like an extrovert or someone who's gonna be out. So save your money, okay? And make sure you have your stuff together before you go ahead and join the nightlife, because it gets real expensive out here. Like when I came out here, I did not know that sometimes, you know, if it's a busy night, a holiday night, they charging $40 to get in, sometimes $60 because Lloyd didn't show up and they're not even performing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just literally insane. Like cocktails cost $20, you know, like, and this is just normal places. Like if you go to a black owned business, you are probably automatically paying 20% gratuity and the service is not good. So parking is $20, $30, $40, just depends on what's going on. Everything is literally so freaking expensive. It's insane, especially if you're coming from a small city. So that being said, please save some money, because y'all gonna be shocked about how much stuff that you actually have to pay for on the outside life. At this point, you might as well just stay in the house and then find you some friends online and then just do some introverted things. But that's the best thing I can say when it comes to like budgeting and money. Please save your money if you can. Matter of fact, don't even make it an option, because life freaking, I'm telling you right now, life happens. Okay, so now we're on to the next thing, which is friends. Okay, we know as adults, making friends is really freaking hard. So if I was you, if I was to start all over again to come to Houston, I would honestly start making friends early. Like, go online. There's a lot of Facebook groups. I think there's a Facebook group called like people moving to Houston, or if you're moving anywhere else, moving to Dallas, like they have a Facebook. Honestly, Facebook groups are for everything. Like anything that I go through, I literally add it to a Facebook group. I have HS. I added the group. I have, I'm posting on social media. I added the group. I'm on a weight loss journey. I added the group. Like, I'm telling you, it's a group for everything, y'all. I'm telling you, go on Facebook and add your group. So even if you want to be more specific, like, oh, tech, like if there's certain people that you're looking for, add the group, like literally. So I was looking for friends, and how I basically did it at the beginning was just like, there's Bumble BFF. So I know Bumble's like a dating app. I get it. But they have Bumble BFF, which is like different aspects of Bumble. So they have like the dating part, obviously if you want to date, sure. But they have the dating Bumble, boom. And then they have the best friends, and then they have the business. So if you have a business, you're like braiding hair and stuff, you can start advertising stuff ahead of time. I don't know. I just feel like at the end of the day, you definitely want to start making friends early, because it's going to be a challenge. I'm just going to go ahead and say that now. Now, is that for everybody? Like every single person who moves to Houston? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, from what I've met people, like I haven't met anybody yet that was like, I came to Houston and I made friends so easily. It was so smooth sailing and I'm just still friends with them. Like, I haven't heard anybody. So that says a lot. I don't know if it's just because of being an adult. And honestly, I will say making friends are hard because you are in a bigger city. It's like, again, fast. There are going to be some people who are into a certain lifestyle. Like if you're someone more chill and you just want to be genuine, it's kind of hard to find genuine friends these days, because sometimes they already have like their already cliquey friendships and they just not open to bringing in new people. Sometimes people just want to hang out with you because you're pretty. Sometimes people want to just hang out with you because you got money. So yeah, like I would definitely start making friends already online, kind of like build that friendship and like the talking and getting to know someone, so you can kind of like get excited. And then plus they can show you Houston, because hey, like I'm looking for friends, blah blah blah, I'm moving there next month. Oh, can you let me know how you like it, yada yada yada. So like definitely check out Facebook and check out Bumble, and like there's other stuff as well. Comment down below like basically what you would do with finding friends. That's kind of like how I started out. And even though those specific friendships did not personally work out for me, they led me to the journey where I'm at today. So I definitely do not regret it. Actually, I'm still friends with someone that I've actually met from Bumble. We're really good friends, so I do recommend it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is understand your areas in Houston, Texas. I know this is probably something I should have said in the beginning, but like your areas, like I said, it's an hour and you're still in Houston. So I'm gonna tell you something that I kind of know, but I'm still learning. Y'all been here for 3 years, and because I'm like in the outskirts, I'm in the suburbs, I really don't understand certain things. But like honestly, you have areas like Katy, Cypress, those are like suburban areas. But then you have like your downtown. I call everything downtown, but anybody from Houston would be like, that's not downtown. But I'm gonna say downtown, because when I look at the map, everything is central. But Houston is so big that I even break down everything that's in here, because technically, even if you're downtown, it will still be like a 15-20 minute drive, I guess, in the downtown area. So it's insane. I know. So you have like in here, like maybe you have downtown, you have the Heights, Uptown, Galleria area, which I think is the same. I don't know. You have Third Ward, Fifth Ward, whatever. That's all downtown though. It's all central. And then you have like Sugarland, you have Pearland, you have Woodlands, you have, I don't even know at this point. It's just humble. Like it's literally, and it's humble, not humble. So it's like literally so many different places you can choose from. So some of them are closer to the airport, some of them are further away. I guess they have something called Water Lake or something like that. And obviously it's maybe a little lake over there, like Sugarland and Woodlands is more of like a very rich suburban area, or like Katy and Cypress are very nice areas. They're affordable areas, but they're more further out. So it kind of just depends, like what do you want? Do you want to live like closer in the city? Do you want to live more far out? And then like I think like Pearland, everything is more like south, and then like Katy and everything is more north and all of that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so much. Like you just honestly, that's why I said come out here and visit, because you need to know what area you want to live in. Like I thought when I came out here that I would be living in Humble, but babe, why would I be in Humble? Humble is so freaking far, y'all. Like, it's so freaking far. But if your job is near Humble and that area, then you will live in Humble. Like, I literally have a homegirl now. She's in Humble and she loves it. Humble is beautiful. Like, where she's at. When I say her apartment is so suburban, I was like, girl, you in the suburbs. You in the suburbs. Like, I thought I was in the suburbs, but you're in the suburbs. It's so nice. Literally so nice. And I'm a suburban girl. I love the suburbs. But I do want to be a little closer eventually, because going home, everybody want to, oh yeah, I'll come back. Da, 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 da. Like, no, I'll go home. I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. So it just kind of depends on your life, on your job, all of that good stuff. But definitely do your research on areas, because that's going to determine like your price when it comes to like looking for apartments and all that extra stuff. Child, I'm thirsty. Hold on. Y'all. Shout out to my friend that gave me this cup. I was super happy about it. And obviously, like, knowing about the different areas, I recommend for you to live close to your job. Do not be like me, y'all. When I tell you it was so heck. Like, I live on one side of the city and I literally had to drive all the way to the airport. When I say my commute, I want to say it was like 48 minutes without traffic. And I mean no traffic. At 5 o'clock in the morning type of stuff. When I say like when it was traffic on the way home, it literally took me like an hour and a half, an hour and 45, sometimes 2 hours for me to get home. And I'm not even being dramatic. Because I literally live so far away. So that's another thing. That's why I said try to get your job ahead of time. It will determine where you will be living. Now, obviously if you're downtown or the downtown area, let me say that, downtown area, central area, let's say that. If you're in the central area, then usually regardless of where you're at, let me, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say too much. People in Houston gonna come and get me. But people, like if you're like in the, you know, like I said, like Pearland, like just different areas, Katie, whatever. Like usually you're driving about 30-35 minutes to go to your work area if your area is in the like central area. But you don't want to be in Katy and your job is in Humble. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, look at the map. You'll see these cities and start just looking, like, even if you can, and see what kind of, like, just play around with the area codes. That's what I did on apartmentlist.com. I literally just played around with certain area codes and zip codes. And when you look at people's apartments, like tours and stuff like that, you can literally see the area codes, and you kind of just see like, okay, cool, oh, I like this apartment, I like what this looks like, da, da, da. Let me see what area it is in, let me see if I like the area code. You kind of just like help you determine where you want to be located at. And honestly, when you're applying for jobs, look at the area codes. Like, that's honestly key. That's key right there. Like, all you got to do is just look at the area code and then be like, okay, cool, the area code that my job or potential job is that a commute that I'm willing to make to the potential place I want to live. So that's why I say it's always good to have at least your job ahead of time, because now you know, okay, cool, I know what area I want to live, I know how far of a commute I want to make, I know I'm willing to make, you know, the 20-minute commute or the 45-minute, like whatever you want to do. Remind you, traffic get a little tough. One thing I can say about traffic is that, at least from California, the traffic do not move in California. You will be in there, it's not moving. But one thing about Texas, or at least Houston, Texas, is that at least it moves. Now, you do have your certain stops, but at least it moves. That's the only thing I really love. Like, the traffic is bad, but it moves. It freaking moves. Okay, so another tip I have for moving to Houston is understand your flood zone. Now, when I came out here to visit, I did kind of like just question everybody, like, okay, so did your apartment flood? Now I know to ask, like, did it lose power? Like, so when you're looking for your apartment, the key is, or your place or wherever you're going to rent, you need to ask them if it's in the flood zone. Now, apparently there's a thing kind of like 50 years, 100 years. I don't know the details, but you can actually look it up yourself too. You can actually put in the address and see if you're actually in a flood zone, and I think it goes back to like 100 years. But keep in mind though that every hurricane and every natural disaster is freaking different. So just because it didn't flood last time don't mean it's gonna flood this time. Now, what I do know from what I'm told and what I've kind of experienced is that the downtown area floods a lot, which is why I don't understand why is it so expensive. Like, why is it so expensive to be downtown and it floods? Like, it can literally rain for a long time and be flooding. So I don't understand why is it so. Why does everybody want to be in the area that floods the most? Like, why? That doesn't make any sense to me personally. I don't get it. Again, I'm still kind of new here. I've been here for 3 years, but like literally I've been here for 3 years, like in a few days ago. Like, I literally moved here July 26th, 2020. Isn't that freaking insane? No, 2021. So July 26th, 2021 is when I moved here, and that is literally insane. I've been here for 3 years. Oh my gosh, freaking insane. But definitely need to know your flood zones and stuff like that. And when you go to your apartments, you need to ask them, okay, cool. Like for example, we just had a tornado about 2 months ago, and we just had Hurricane Burrow come through, and it was a hurricane once. So when I am looking at certain apartments or whatever situation may be, you literally just ask them like, hey, how was it when you guys had the 2 natural disasters? How long did you lose power? How long did you lose water for? Because some people didn't lose power, some people did. Some people didn't lose water, some people did. For me personally, when I was in a tornado, I lost power for maybe like 2.5, 3 days. That was for the first instant, but I never lost any water, thank goodness. And when Hurricane Burrow came in, I only lost power, I don't know, like I lost it like in the middle of the night, like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. But by the time I ate dinner, like around 7, 8 p.m., it was back on. So maybe around 10, 12, 16, whatever hours, like, but not a full 24 hours. It wasn't even off for a full day. So that was really good. But there are people who were literally out for Hurricane Burrow for like a week. Like when I seen these apartments, they were like, oh, we were out both times for a week. So it's kind of alarming. So I was like, yeah, so make sure that now, especially because we just had natural disasters, you are asking these questions like, okay, cool. How was the flooding? Did you guys lose power? Because that's what really matters. Like it really matters about you losing your power. How long did you lose your power? And how long did you lose your water? So just make sure you're doing your research on that as well, because that is very important. So the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is your fees. Understand your fees. Out here in Houston, it's so freaking different from being in California. Like their fees are literally different when it comes to being in your apartments and stuff like that. Utility is different. Everything is just different from where I'm from. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you know. Back at home, we have a thing called PG&E at California. It's like, I want to say, I don't know if it's all California or if it's just West Coast area, but we all know PG&E. That's all we say, PG&E. I knew PG&E before I even knew it was PG&E. Like, you know what I mean? When you're a kid, you're like PG&E. Yeah, so that's what I was calling it, just PG&E, whatever. But out here, they actually call it energy bill, like your energy bill, your utility bill. They don't call it, there's no PG&E here. And I didn't know, like, you know, kind of, maybe I just didn't know, obviously, like that everybody didn't have PG&E. I thought it was PG&E everything was PG&E, but no. So out here in Houston, they actually have parties that I think that are by the same people. I don't know the statistics of it or the politics of it, but they have different people that you can actually buy your energy from, your energy bill from. So you can compare the rates or whatever and then purchase it, and it could be different. You can move it. I don't know. But what I do know is it's not by state, and it's not everybody has the same one. Like literally you could talk to your friend and be like, oh, who do you have for your electricity bill? And it'll be like, I don't know, Bob. And you could be like, oh, okay, well I have Serena. Okay, well Serena calls me this much per watt. Well, whatever. Oh yeah, Bob calls me this much. Okay, let me move over to Bob. Oh, we heard Tim's company, whatever, is better. So that's how it is out here, which is literally insane, because I thought that everybody has the same electricity bill, but no, it's very different out here. They actually have different parties. I hope that makes sense. Right? Like kind of how like you have different insurances and stuff like that. Not everybody has the same insurance. So that's how it goes out here. I also want you guys to know like the application fee. So when you're looking at semi-luxury, that's what I like, is semi-luxury. So like not super like luxury as in like high rise or anything like that, like super expensive. But if you're living in like a normal apartment, like something that has like a pool and a gym, you're paying for it. So that being said, they have like this thing called like amenity fees. So the lobby, like usually when you see like people who have shows like the pool, the lobby, the gym, usually that comes with an amenity fee, which probably, let me just kind of like give you a price, like $40 for the amenity fee, right? Then you have your valet trash. Valet trash could be, I don't know, $20, right? Then you have your pest control. That could be $10. When you're applying for your apartment, just know you're going to have your base rent. Say your base rent is $1,400, but then they add on all those fees and they're automatic. You can't get away with it. You can't be like, oh, I'll take my own trash out. That's not how it works. This is how the apartment runs. Kind of like a HOA fee. Kind of think about it like that. So you're paying this fee, like say like it could be $70 total on top of your base rent. So if your base rent is $1,400, add on that $70. So really you're paying $1,470 on top of your water bill. Usually is within your rent as well. Like compared to usually in California, if you're living in an apartment, your water is like covered no matter what. So if your base rent is $1,400, you're paying $1,400 and your water is free, even though it's within your rent, and that's it. But here they actually like have your water bill usually separated. Like it actually matters of how much water you use, and that would be like an extra, I don't know, $50, $70 or whatever. So now like total you're just paying $1,520. I don't know the exact math, but you get what I'm saying? Like you went from $1,400 you're looking at rent you're thinking that you're gonna pay $1,400 every month, but you're really gonna end up paying around $1,540 or $1,550. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna fluctuate because of your water bill. So just understand that when coming out here, because I had no idea coming from California, like, okay, cool, yeah, we're good, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, we got cheap rent, because I swear when we first moved out here, it was like 1033. That's how much we signed up for, thinking we're gonna pay, you know, $1,000. That's how it is back at home. We don't have that, because like here you have obviously like your washer and dryer, blah blah blah, but I did not know that it comes with all of these extra fees. Obviously I'm used to it now, so when I'm looking at places and I'm like, okay, cool, let me see some apartments, please understand that there's going to be fees. If you're living in a I guess a regular apartment in Houston, but like to use out, because things are more expensive in other states. So if you're looking at if you're in a more expensive state, just understand the apartments here that are luxury, semi-luxury, whatever, they come with fees. So when you're calling and you're making your appointment, which honestly, if you're looking at apartments, please make your appointments. Do not be crazy and try to do walk-ins. It's just not how it's going to work all the time. Just don't even push your luck. Just go ahead and make your appointments. Call them and talk to them and ask them what their fees are. So ask them what's the fee after everything, because that's how it is. Back at home, it's not like that. But back at home, we don't have an island. We don't have, you know, a walk-in closet. We don't have a washer and dryer. We don't have the pool. We don't have the gym. So if you notice that you have all of that, we don't have the office. If you notice that your apartment that you're looking at doesn't really have all of that, then you may be lucky. You won't have to worry about it. But if it does have all of that, then most likely you're going to have a fee. And obviously, if you're more bougie and you living in a mid-rise, high-rise, it's obviously going to have more fees, and more fees, you know, it's going to be more expensive. It honestly just depends on the apartment. Also, another thing here too is that it kind of depends on the apartment that you're applying for. Like when it comes to the deposit, like when I moved to here in Houston, I had to pay like a $200-$300 like non-refundable fee, and that was it. And the application fees honestly depends on who you're applying for. When you're applying for apartments, you're literally going to have like an application fee. You're going to have a admin fee as well, which is I guess the fee to process it. It's kind of different from like being back at home. I think you just do your application fee, which may be like $30 or $50 per person, and that's literally it. But here, like honestly, the application could be like $100. It could be $100. It could be $185. It just kind of depends. And like it depends on the apartment too as well when it comes to the deposit. Sometimes it could say no deposit. Sometimes they could be like, oh, you only got to put $300 down. Sometimes they're like, oh, you need to put the full month's rent, which is kind of how it is back at home in California. You're probably putting half. The deposit usually is half the month's rent or full month rent, and then, you know, it does depend, but just usually you just know you're putting a lot of money up at front and you're gonna get that money back. Here, a lot of times you're putting your deposit down or a non-refundable fee down, and obviously you're not gonna get the money back. But I rather put a $300 non-refundable fee down than put a whole like $1,500-$1,600 down or whatever, and then they don't give it back to me. So it just kind of depends on the apartment. So again, pay attention when you're looking at that type of stuff, because that's very important to know. And again, that goes back to you making sure that you save that money, because this is stuff that be popping up and you like, I had no idea. So the next thing we're gonna go ahead and talk about is insurance. Y'all, insurance is high. And I knew that, but it didn't really hit me until I got my new car. I ain't gonna hold you. So what happened was basically I was out here in California and I did change my insurance to my Texas address. I never called them and told them that I actually moved. So what happened was when I actually got my car, they was like, oh, well, your policy is still under California coverage and you need Texas coverage, because if you would get into a car accident, then you would have never been covered. So that being said, when I actually changed, even though I changed my address, you actually have to call and make sure that you're under Texas coverage. Now, because, and I knew this ahead of time, but I just did not know it was bad. Y'all, when my brand new car, when I had it under a California coverage, it was a 2023 car, I just got used, whatever. Y'all, I was gonna pay like $168. I was juiced like, oh, my policy not gonna change. It's gonna stay the same, which it was if I was still in California. Y'all, when I moved it to freaking Texas policy, why did it jump to like $328? Who paying that? Who paying that? Like, y'all are really, and I'm really calling my friends like, y'all, how much did y'all pay for y'all new car? How much you pay for your new car? Da, 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 da. Remind you, I have a clean record. I'm over 25 years old. Like, I'm freaking shocked. And they're literally like, oh yeah, no, this is normal. Like, that's literally how it goes. Like, insurance is high here. So yeah, definitely shop around when you switch your insurance over, because yeah. Also too, they don't do smogs here. They do inspections. It's a little different. I think they do the inspections every year and you do your registration every year. It's be my first year doing it, which I think is around $100. Compared to California, it just kind of depends. It fluctuates, and you only need to get your smog every 2 years. Again, every state is different. If you're from a different state, I don't know, but I thought you should know if you decide to register your car here, which you do need to register your car here, that they do the policy, that your tags and everything every year. Okay, I'm sorry for this long freaking talk and this long video, but this is the last thing I'm gonna go ahead and talk about in this video, which is the weather. So moving out here to Houston, Texas, guys, the weather obviously is hot. Even though I came from California, I did come from a very hot area, but it was dry. Now here it's humid, you know what I'm saying? So it's very wet. It's suffer. Like, honestly, if you've been to anywhere it's humid, I'm telling you right now, like, you literally suffocate. Like, as soon as you walk out of the plane, it's like, you know what I'm saying? But I did not know, moving to Houston, Texas, that they actually had tornadoes. I don't know if that's just me being ignorant. I knew that they had hurricanes, obviously, but I did not know that they have tornadoes. So when I experienced that first tornado, I was like, when I first moved here, they said some tornado. I'm like, tornadoes? Y'all get hurricanes and tornadoes? Oh, I'm moving back. And the bugs is treacherous. Okay, the bugs, y'all, when I say these bugs are this big, like, if they have roaches this big and that will come in your house from outside, from the pipes, y'all. Okay, I want to say that's the last thing I'm gonna say, just because my battery is dying, but I did want to let you guys know, you know what I'm saying? Protect yourself. Houston ain't no joke. It is great opportunity out here. I hope I didn't scare anyone, but I just wanted to give you my experience of being out here for almost 3 years. And yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and end this video. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget, my name is Tatyana Edgeworth. Comment down below your favorite thing. If there's anything that I missed, if there's anything that you actually want me to go over, you want to know more about my experience personally, do you want to know how I moved over here across state, all of the good tea, all of the good details, I can go ahead and give it to you. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. And my name is Tatyana Edgeworth. All of my social media will be linked down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see you guys next time, okay? Bye.